Hi, welcome to my channel and welcome to Entertainment Industry Answers. Today we're going to be talking about touring with Janet Jackson, part 2. If you haven't seen part 1, be sure to go back and check out part 1. We're talking about how I got the call, what the auditioning process was like, what it was like to see Janet for the first time. You don't want to miss that. So go check out part 1 if you haven't seen part 1. Today we're going to talk about 12 weeks of rehearsals, grueling rehearsals. Yeah, it's not for the faint of heart, and trust me, I'm gonna be keeping it 100% real today. Touring with Janet Jackson, part 2. Let's get it. Okay, I got the gig. I'm hired. I got the call from Patrice Rushy. I got the gig. I am a backup vocalist for Janet Jackson. What? You have no idea. Even though I think about it now, I still get super geeked. It was one of the best moments of my life. It was the biggest tour with the most noise around it at the time. There was one position for a male backup vocalist, and out of all the amazing vocalists in the world, God bless me to be in that position. It was so many different things that meant to me. What it means to have faith, what it means that God wants more for me than I even want for myself. What it means to be diligent, to work hard, to be prepared when the opportunity comes. It was huge. And all of those thoughts came even before the fact that I was going to be making more money than I'd ever made before in my life. And it was going to be consistent, and it was going to be for a long time. So what did I feel? It was surreal. Man, it was emotional, So the first thing I did was, of course, I celebrated. I called my family, a few close friends to share the news. Even in this great, high, and with this great news I'm sharing with people, in all honesty, I could detect with some people, they were super happy for me. And I could detect with some people that they weren't that happy for me. When you catch people off guard with good news, they don't have time to adjust their reaction. So the real in them shows before the fake them gets a chance to come and cover up. So you'll tell some people, oh my God, guess what happened? I just got this new gig with whomever, or I just got this new job, or I just whatever, a promotion, I just bought a new house, or just whatever. And some people go, oh my God, did you? I'm so excited for you, I'm so happy for you. And you can see that it's a genuine emotion that they share with you. And then there are other people that you're telling, oh my God, guess what? I got this new la da 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 da. And they're like, you did? How'd you get that? Or they'll go, really? Oh, that's cool. Wait, so who helped you get that? If you get those types of reactions, don't ignore them. Sidebar, but don't ignore them. One thing you're gonna learn about me is that I am all about teaching and sharing what I learn. I'm known as a vocal coach, and that's the title that I'm known for. But I'm just a sharer of knowledge. I'm just a sharer of knowledge. Whatever I learn, I share. God has blessed me to have the ability to be honest and real and not fear any consequence. As long as I'm being honest and I'm doing everything from a motive of love and to help people, then He provides for me. So I'm saying that because you're going to learn in these series that I teach. I'm going to tell you everything that I've learned in this industry, good and bad, and hopefully it'll help you. It's going to either help young people who are getting into this game avoid some hurt, understand some hurt that they can avoid so they can keep going. And for some of these people, some of the people who have been in the game as long as I have and longer, maybe it'll help some of you guys go, I experienced those same things and there's nothing wrong with talking about it. You don't have to be so positive that you're lying. You don't have to be so positive that you're either misinforming or not completely informing. Let me finish telling this stuff now that you guys kind of got that whole sidebar. After I shared my great news, I took it in. I spent my time thanking God and thanking God and thanking God. And then we got the rehearsal schedules. Now, don't get me wrong. My first tour ever with Vesta, we would have 8-hour rehearsals, 3-4 days a week. And we thought, man, this is crazy. But I always said Vesta's tour would prepare me very well for anything that could come afterwards. With Sheena and with Jody, we had great rehearsals too, but they weren't that lengthy. When we got the information for the Janet rehearsal schedules, it was like 10 to 12 hours a day for 6 days a week. And this was for 12 weeks. So immediately I thought, dang, what is this about? But you're so excited. And this is such a big thing. It's like, I didn't mind it. I was looking forward to it. So I get there, everything is a totally different level than I've ever experienced with any tour. The venues where we rehearsed were nice. So the dancers would be working out the choreography in one room. And then another room, the band would be working out. And then another room, the singers would be working out. And then you'd see all of these lighting people, stage production people, and they're checking out what we're doing and looking at, the band play and listening to accents and seeing where they can do the accents of the lights. And the videographers were looking at the show so they could see how they're going to shoot it. It was a huge machine where everyone was working together. It was so exciting to just see how everything came together and interacted. It was great to see how Tina Landon would get together the choreography, and then she'd come into the band room and say, listen, can you guys go over this one part of the song? Because I'm trying to figure out what we're gonna do with that, And then sometimes they would come up, the dancers would come up with, a dance move or a little section they want to do it. And then they would come in to the band room and say, is there any way you guys can give us 4 extra bars here to kind of go along with these moves, or vice versa? I tell you, I absolutely fell in love with choreography when I started to work with Janet. Tina Landon, Omar Lopez, Tish Oliver, Shawnette Hurd. Man, the way that these people handle choreography, I'd never seen it. I had no idea that it took all of that. I didn't know what it entailed. To see how precise they were, to see how diligently they worked at their part. One of the reasons I was so excited about doing this tour is there were 2 people that were dancing with Janet, and I remember seeing the That's What Love Goes video. I was like, man, I'm so excited to be able to work with 2 people that I admire so much at the time. And they weren't household names at the time. They weren't celebrities, so to speak, yet, but I just loved their swag. I loved what they did. One was Josie Harris, and the other one was Jennifer Lopez. I remember thinking, I can't wait to work with them and watch them work, and neither one of them ended up doing the tour. So they both went on to pursue acting and other things, and they did well. I mean, J-Lo did okay. She struggled through it. You know what I'm saying? She's hanging on in there, you know what I mean? She shot for it, went for that acting thing, and she did okay. Being able to rehearse on this big stage that was pretty much giving us an indication of what the real stage was going to be like already was super exciting. So you got 12 weeks that you're just imagining audience. Every day you go to rehearsal, you're like, this is crazy. I'm about to be on stage in front of the world with Janet Jackson and all these dope musicians. You're just on a high. Patrice Rushen had written out all the parts to the arrangement that she had done for the show. It was genius. The way she arranged the songs and the way she arranged them to go from one song to another. She really did a great job at pretty much building the show, the foundation of the show. And one thing I'll never forget is there were 3 singers, and in a lot of Janet's recordings, backgrounds were overlayered. The way Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis would produce. Some of these vocal arrangements were beautiful, but there were harmonies, and then there'd be harmonies that kind of like overlap each other. I remember thinking, how are we gonna do that? And I learned the trick from Patrice Rushen that was so genius, and I used it many times in gigs that I was the vocal section leader or whatever. But I remember she would have us sing 3-part harmonies. Well, on the record, it would be a 3-part harmony going, and then it'd be another harmony that would kind of come under. And I was thinking, how are we gonna do this? And Patrice would go, what I need you guys to do is sing the 3-part harmony. On this beat, you sustain. She would take one of our notes, the most prominent note from the harmony, and she said, you sustain it through. You two stop at that phrase, that beat, and start singing the other harmony. The person that sustained the prominent note, when you get to the point where your cutoff is, you come back in to make that other harmony a 3-part harmony. Well, when the music is playing and you hear that, it sounds like 6 of us instead of 3 of us, because your mind tells you, you hear 3-part harmony, and then you hear a sustained note, and then the other 2 go to another part, and then that one part comes back. You feel like you're hearing 6 people sing. Genius. It's absolutely genius. I hope I explained that well, but it blows my mind. And if you didn't get it, good. Maybe you ain't supposed to. It's our secret. Patrice. So there was 12 weeks of rehearsals that we had allotted to get ready for this tour. Patrice had taken everything that was needed, and she kind of had a game plan to have us do the more difficult parts first. So we attacked all the more, complex parts in the beginning. I believe her concept for that was, let's work out all the hard parts first, and then we can take the latter weeks of rehearsal to just fine tune it, let it gel. So we were tackling things, and it was a challenge, man, but I loved it. I thought most everyone did. Yeah, so Patrice was genius. And she was literally the reason that at least 3, 4, 5 of us even were able to audition. As I told you, as you'll see in part 1 if you haven't seen it, you had to be contacted for this tour. So I come to rehearsal one day, and I see the first sign of negativity, the first sign of a lack of integrity, poor character, disloyalty, and it was a little jarring, to be honest with you. I get to rehearsal, I'm feeling good that day. I walk in, and I see Marty Hahn, who was the tour manager for Janet. Again, if you see part 1, you'll know Marty Hahn was also the tour manager for Jody Watley when I was playing bass with Jody Watley. So I get to the rehearsal, I see Marty Hahn, and he's got this really awkward look on his face. I'm like, hey, what's up, Marty? He goes, hey, look. And he points over to this area, and I looked at the area and I didn't see anything. I'm like, what? He goes, what do you see? I said, I don't see anything. What are you talking about? He said, exactly. What's normally there? I said, that's where Patrice's station is. That's where she usually sets her stuff up. He goes, exactly. She's gone. What do you mean she's gone? She's gone. They let her go. They fired her. I'm like, why? Number 1, she's my friend. Number 2, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for her. Number 3, I loved how she was running things. It was just jarring, and it hurt, and it was confusing. I was bummed out, man. It was just, oh well, that's how it goes, whatever. And I'm thinking, damn, that's pretty cold. We're, what were we, 3 weeks in, 2 weeks in, 3 weeks in? She's already done a ton of work. What happened? So some of the band members started to come in. And I was like, man, Marty said they let Patrice go. And the band members were like, what? What? Why? I don't know. What happened? Well, I don't get it. I don't know. So then Marty comes in, and he's talking to all of us. Now, we've just displayed with each other. I mean, not necessarily in words or anything, but we at least displayed a mutual shock. And so Marty comes in, and he says, so did you hear, did Romeo tell you that they let Patrice go? And they were like, yeah. Why? What happened? And so he goes, I don't know. Not my business, man. I know. And then all of a sudden, I literally watched certain guy's demeanor match his demeanor. So all of a sudden I saw, what happened? What happened? All right, well, whatever. Hey, look, call me sensitive or whatever. I was like, yo, wait. So everybody's choosing to be nonchalant about this shit? You know what I mean? So what's going on? Like, and I got response. I got response back. And they said things like, I mean, you know, it's their gig, man. They got a right to hire and fire who they want to. You know, whatever their reasons were, I'm sure they got good reason. So I said, that's a fact. If they wanted to fire anybody, they have the right to fire them. But I know for a fact that Patrice is the one person who got me and you and you and you here. So although we don't have the power to be like, hey, you shouldn't fire her, that's their decision. Why are you so nonchalant about it? Why is it like, oh, well, that's what because now you're more concerned about staying in. And I get it. Listen, I didn't want to get dark with it. But the point is, it was a wake-up call. And no matter who you are, you got to decide real quick, who am I? Am I going to stick with who I am? Am I going to just go with whatever the flow is? And whoever you are, that's who you are. I'm not going to tell you to try to change it. You know, it's who you are. I had to be who I am, you know, and I was like, yeah, I get it. I'm not cool with it. I'm not happy about it. I can't change their mind. I don't expect for us to go, you know, picket. I'm not expecting for us to come together and say, we're all quitting if you don't get Patrice back. I'm not expecting that. But I can't just quickly go, oh, really? Oh, well. But it's good to see that some people can. It's good to see. It blessed me, to be honest with you, because I'm like, you know what? That's what it is. So know that can happen, no matter what you do to bless them, to put them in situations. They may be more loyal to the people you've connected them to than they are you for connecting them. Lesson learned. Okay, I'm just keeping it 100% real with y'all. That's what I do. So I took that. I was like, well, damn, here we go. Let's keep doing it. We kept moving. Rehearsals were great. Patrice is gone. We're still rehearsing her arrangements. We're getting tighter and tighter and tighter. And then Janet started to come in to watch some of the run-throughs. I remember we would be rehearsing sometimes, and Janet they'd have a table out in front of us where she and her assistant, her name was Aisha, they would sit and chill. Janet had a mat. She would always have a mat in front of her on the floor. And like every few minutes, she would get on the mat and just do crunches while we were running through the show. Just crunches. So when people were saying all the crazy shit about she had her ribs removed, that was so crazy, man. I saw this girl work so hard at getting that physique that she had. You know, she had a trainer. Man, why can't I think of my man's name? He was so cool too. You know what? I'm gonna get his name. Let me get his name. But she had a trainer, and was it Doug Yee? Why is that coming to my mind? Anyway, so she had a trainer, she had a nutritionist, she had a massage therapist. She had everything she needed around her to honestly work and get that physique that she had. It's so funny how people, they always gotta have some way to discredit what you do or some way to diminish what you do. Janet worked her butt off to get that physique, you know. Naturally, she has a nice physique, but when she would drop those 30-something pounds or whatever to get ready for tour, that was from hard work, straight up hard work. But we'll be rehearsing sometimes, and she would be doing her crunches, and then she'd get up and she'd listen to us make our run through. And every time we need to stop to fix a part or make a correction, she would drop on the mat, boom, 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 crunch. We start back, she'd get up and listen. And sometimes when we were taking a break, the band would just kind of just play something else, you know, just to kind of pull us away from work for a second. They may play some Earth, Wind and Fire, you know, and of course, I would grab the mic and I would start singing. And it turned into like a little jam session for a minute. And sometimes Janet would say, you know, Romeo, can you sing, you know, whatever? So I would sing Reasons, I would sing whatever, Fantasy or something. Everything was so lighthearted. I was having so much fun. And then Renee Elizondo. For those of you who remember, Renee Elizondo was the guy that was Janet's husband, actually, as they later revealed. But at the time, they were saying that they were dating. And I didn't know that he was not fond of me yet. I don't really know why, but whatever. So he came to me one day and he said, when the band is playing, like, you know how you guys have that break, and the band is playing, you know, can you not sing? Don't sing. What? Yeah, when the band is, you guys had a thing. Can you not? Don't sing for me. I'm like, don't sing for you? What do you mean? I was like, I mean, okay. What kind of request was that? So I'm like, don't sing? Okay. Well, next day or so comes. A day or two later, the band's having a jam session again. And Janet says, hey, Romeo, can you sing whatever it was? I'm like, sure. I sang it. So I see Renee looking at me. So he comes up to me after and he goes, hey, Romeo, can I talk to you for a second? This is how I used to be. Hey, can I talk to you for a second? Hey, man, so listen, I know that, Janet loves your voice. She loves it. I mean, even when we're away from rehearsal, she's always like, Romeo has a really nice voice. I'm like, and I know she loves it and everything, but remember I asked you not to sing. Now I'm looking at this fool like, okay, and yeah, could you not? I said, if she asked me to sing, I'm gonna sing. Period. I don't know what type of intimidation he was trying to bring at the time, but I'm like, if Janet asked me to sing, I'm gonna sing. And I'm thinking to myself, why are you coming to me secretively and asking me not to sing? If you don't want me to sing, why don't you tell Janet to not ask me? You know what I'm saying? Just weak shit, man. So I'm like, if she asks me to sing, I'm gonna sing. So he just looks at me and I'm like, no, I don't want her to know that I'm having this conversation with you. Okay, well, right there. That's, I didn't know the cat, but of course my respect for him was like, okay. So that wasn't probably the best little interaction for us to have. So anyway, rehearsals are going great, band's getting tighter. I was leaving a rehearsal one day and the musical director at the time came to me and he said, hey man, be careful because I think Renee is trying to get you fired. And he's like, what's up with this Romeo guy? Like, did Janet know him before the tour or anything? Like, who is he? And I'm like, why? Like, what's going on? Am I doing something? And the MD said to me, he said, I told him no. He said, Romeo's a cool guy. He said, and, I don't know. I said, it's probably because, the whole Melanie Andrews thing, Janet and I have like a mutual friend or whatever. But anyway, he says, yeah, he said, I think that he was telling Janet that we should just go with the two female singers and not use the male singer. And Janet said, no, I want to keep it like it is. And so he's not used to her. Now, all of this is alleged. This is what he said to me. I don't know what Janet said to him. I don't know what Janet, I don't know. I'm just telling you what he said to me. So the musical director says, he tells Janet we should go with the two female singers, not the male singer. And Janet says, no, I like Romeo. I'm going to keep it like it is. And he said, Renee's not used to her not going along with whatever he says. Usually if he says something, she'll go, okay, whatever. So he says, now I think he really doesn't like you. So I'm like, oh shit. All right, let's put things in perspective here. This is a blessing. I got this gig. It's blessing my family. Let me just come and do my damn job and just chill. Well, then all of a sudden, he approaches me all the time. Hey, Romeo, we're going over to this place. You want to go? Hey, Omar. He would always ask me and Omar Lopez, you want to go hang out with me? And we're going to go do this. You want to go hang out? And I'm like, no, I'm good. I think Omar sometimes would hang out with him. Sometimes he wouldn't. But I was like, I'm good. I'm not that cat anyway. But I knew what was going on. I'm like, he doesn't know that I know he don't dig me. So this whole trying to get me to hang out with him, I ain't feeling that. So I didn't. And you'll learn more about that later on. But that was the established relationship that Renee Elizondo and I had from the very beginning. Okay, so I'm looking at this whole thing and I'm trying to figure out this whole time what happened with Patrice, what happened. Then there was a photographer that was hired. His name was Eddie Wolf. Eddie Wolf was a genius. Eddie Wolf and my good friend, Doc A.J. Johnson, they worked with Janet and everybody when it came to photography. Eddie Wolf took pictures of so many famous people. He was a cool guy, and he did a lot of great things, a lot of great shots around. And to make a long story short, they ended up letting him go too. I'm like, what in the world is going on? And I'm like, wow, this is weird, you know. New level for me. I'm learning. I'm learning. I'm trying to just do my thing, do my job. I knew one thing. I knew that I knew all those parts, and I knew I was there to do a job, and I was going to do the job. At the same time, I'm watching and I'm learning, and I'm learning who's who, and I'm learning different people's personalities. It's some of these lessons I learned, but it's for every level. It gets more drastic. Then there was first signs of disharmony within the group. And you have to understand, we're a bunch of musicians who are doing a tour that is the biggest thing happening right now. Everybody's happy. Everybody's happy. Like, we're all happy. We're all making great money. We're all doing great music, having a good time with a great artist, and we're ready to travel the world doing these songs. There's no reason to be anything but happy. But there's always one. So there was this one particular person in the group that would make it their business to speak negatively every day about someone or something to another band member. So it's like, wait a minute. The morale is high here. Morale is high. We're happy. So don't be that one to come to people and say, do you like that person? I don't like that person. So what do you think about this person? I don't like that person. Everyone started to pick up on it. And it's, you know, when you're all in a good place and you're all positive, and then someone comes with negativity, it's like, what are you doing? You're bringing down the morale. What's happening? You know, and what is the problem? Just do your gig, you know. And so that person continued, and I was asked to have a discussion with that person. So I spoke to this person, and I said, listen, you know, everyone's in a great place. You just try to be positive, you know, whatever the negativity is, let's just try to keep it out. What are you talking about? You know, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not doing that, blah, blah, blah. I was like, okay, well, a lot of people are noticing otherwise, so just telling you, you might want to watch out for that. Whatever. Now we're literally 7 to 8 weeks into rehearsals. There's only 12 weeks of rehearsals. And then the musical director comes to me and says, listen, we're gonna need to let that person go. And Janet asked me to ask you to let this person go. How am I supposed to do that? Well, because Janet says she wants you to be the section leader. I'm like, is that right? Yeah, she wants you to handle that, and she's gonna want you to conduct auditions to replace her. Pull a young lady in to get her ready to go on tour in 4 more weeks. So you gotta have her cram and learn everything that this other person has had almost 8 weeks to learn, plus the things that she's gotta learn in the upcoming 4 weeks. Wow. Okay, sure. It was a chance to kind of prove myself. So I was like, okay, I'll do it. So I reached out and contacted several of my female vocalists in the LA area that I knew were dope, and I knew they were attractive, and they sang well, and they could move, they could dance if I needed, all the things that were required for this gig. So I called like 5 or 6 girls that I knew, and Sam Sims, my friend, the bass player for Janet at the time, says, would you consider listening to somebody else for that position? I said, yeah, who? He says, a girl that sang with me with Paul Abdul. He said, you know, she would love the opportunity. Would you mind giving her a shot? And I'm like, no. So I called like 5 or 6 girls that I knew, and I called this young lady that Sam told me about. Her name was Rashida Azar, and I was like, cool, let's get her in. I'll be honest with you, I kind of had in mind the girl that I thought I was going to go with from the ones that I knew. I kind of had set, I'm like, I bet this is the one that's going to pull it off the best. I'm going to probably end up going with her. My partner in crime, Stacey Campbell, I let her know everything that was going on. And of course, like, look, you know, you gotta let the other singer go. And I'm supposed to put an audition together, listen to 5 other girls for another part. And Stacey was like, I want to do it with you because I got to work with them too. I'm like, absolutely. So Stacey and I checked out these 5 girls, 6 girls, whatever it was. And we put together like a group of songs, 3 or 4 songs or whatever. And I literally auditioned every single girl the exact way. It was a lot of pressure. It was a lot of very specific things we were asking for in those performances. Every single girl that came through there was dope, right? They all came in, they looked great. They all had great voices. Every single girl that auditioned made a mistake at some point through the audition. Not a big deal. It was short notice. It was a lot to remember. So it wasn't a big deal that they made mistakes because it was a lot put on them suddenly. But they all, at some point, they would forget a lyric. They would forget a harmony part. They would not come in at the right time or something. The thing that made the difference is the recovery. Because the way I was looking at it was like, look, we got 4 more weeks to do this. I don't expect you to come in and be flawless, but I need to know who's going to be able to retain the most, get to the best point that they can at the quickest point. So every single girl that auditioned, she came in and made some mistake at some point. But every single one except Rashida Azar, when they made a mistake, they were like, oh my God, okay, I'm sorry, let me do it again. Oh, shit, okay, let me do it. When Rashida auditioned, she made one mistake and she just adjusted it and kept going. She didn't acknowledge it. It wasn't like she tried to act like it wasn't a mistake, but she was like focused. And the thing that I loved about it was that if that mistake were made in front of an audience, no one would have known it. She didn't let it take her off track. She made the mistake. She kind of looked, at me and Stacey, but she kept going. And I was like, well, that was everything. So they all left, and Stacey and I talked about it. And I was like, I think Rashida is the one because we got a lot still to learn, and she's got to catch up for 8 weeks. The fact that she was quick recovery is priceless. And so in comes Rashida Azar. So now our vocal team is
the background singers, Stacey Campbell, Romeo Johnson, and Rashida Azar.
Those were the 3 singers for the Janet Tour 1993-94. Booyah! Not only did we now have a unit of people who were super talented, everyone's bringing it to the table when it came to their craft, but everyone's overall demeanor, everyone's spirit was high at almost all times. Everyone was positive on a daily basis. We literally became a big, huge family between the dancers, band members, singers, the crew members. Everyone was a family. It was a beautiful vibe. And then tour time comes. 12 weeks is over. We're excited. the first tour date comes up. I think it was November. I'll never forget, we looked at the itinerary and I'm like, wow, we're starting on the East Coast in the wintertime. We had so many cold stops. We did Cincinnati and Minneapolis and Chicago and oh my God, all the cold places. I have never felt such cold weather in my life. But the first show was in Cincinnati. And I remember we were so excited and we got there and we stayed at a hotel called the Cincinnatian. And first thing I want to do, every time I go anywhere, the first thing I want to do is I want to go see where men's clothing stores are. Or I like the, we all like to shop. So I remember it was freezing, but I wanted a hat. I think I wanted a hat and something else. And I remember we all got to the hotel and it was the Cincinnati. We went to our rooms and we all got it, situated, and we thought, let's meet in the lobby in 2 hours. So we get out and we're like just kind of like sightseeing and walking around. And I'll never forget, it was this tall, slim dude, young guy. And he was so friendly and hospitable. And he was like, hi, you guys are with Janet, and the other. Is there anything I could do to help? You guys need anything? You guys need anything? And it wasn't like he didn't work at the hotel or anything. He's just a nice kid. And I was like, yeah, bro. I said, can you tell me where men's clothing stores are? Can you tell me where men's like hat shop is? I wanted a hat. He goes, yeah, I know exactly. He said, yeah, I'll show you where they sell like the best hats. And I'm like, cool. I said, where is he? He goes, it's right, I'll show you. I said, you can just point me towards him, And I was like, he goes, I'll show you. I'll take you, just follow me. So we go to this hat store and I'm there and I'm looking at hats and stuff. And I'm like taking my time and I'm trying things on, whatever. And I turned and I noticed that he was still there just kind of chilling. And I said, you good, bro? He said, yeah, man, I'm waiting for you. I'll, make sure you get back cool and everything. And I thought, why is this kid so cool, right? And it was such a natural energy. So we're going back. He said, you find what you like? I said, yeah, I did. He said, cool, man. Well, welcome to Cincinnati, man, blah, blah, blah. I said, that's what's up. I said, do you have tickets to the show? Because we had comp tickets. I was going to give him a ticket. He said, I do. Yeah, I do. He said, I got my ticket a while back. I said, cool, man. I said, so where's your seat? Where's your seat? And he told me, and it was, it was a decent seat. It wasn't really, really up close. So I said, okay. I said, well, let me get you a better seat at least, because you really helped me out and I appreciate it. So I got him a seat close to the front. And then we got to the venue, the show day, boom, he was there. And I remember going to the security and telling them, hey, he's with me. I think I probably got him the pass or whatever. So he's with me, make sure he's cool. And that was it. You know what I'm saying? We did this show. It was an amazing first experience. He was like, man, thank you so much for that, this and the other. I'm like, man, thank you so much for looking out for me. And that was it. Tour date 1, first tour. Well, guess what? That young, friendly gentleman turned out to be an internationally known powerhouse preacher, blessing the entire world. And his name is John Gray. How about that? I have more stories about me and John Gray's history, but that's going to be talked about in another episode, another topic. I want to get back to the tour now. So we go on these tours. We're going from city to city. For the first time ever, I'd never performed in front of crowds like this. The way that they loved Janet, the way that it felt to be on the stage and to look out at all these people screaming and singing along, to look across the stage and see all your friends, and it was very much the feeling of being on a football team, a basketball team. You see these people and you're like, we're a team, and we have the same type of attire and wardrobe, and we're here to support Janet Jackson, who we are all fans of. It was a pretty incredible feeling. The treatment that came with being on that type of tour, the prestige, the opportunities that it opened. In addition to our salaries, we would get per diem. And per diem is basically an allotted amount of money that they would give you weekly in cash for you to just use for your expenses to eat every day, basically. Well, the per diem that we were getting was more than a lot of people were getting at a full-time job. So our pay was being given to us by direct deposit. So every week they wouldn't give us checks, they would give us just the pay slip, and the deposit would be in the bank. Well, we were trying to be smart. I think I'm gonna just use my per diem to kind of like live off of and just let my salary accumulate, you know? So we were doing that. But the thing is, we thought, you know, we use the per diem for our food and this and the other. Well, a lot of times we would go places and we decide we wanted to go and shop or whatever. We have our per diem ready, and then we would get there. It was so many times we walk in places and people would go, "Are you guys part of Janet's band?" Yeah, whether it's a restaurant or clothing store, whatever. And we get ready to leave, and they'd be like, "It's on the house. We don't have to pay for the food." No, it's on the house. If we went to stores that were like mom and pop stores, I gone to stores before, picked out, you know, clothes that I liked. I'm like, "Yo, I'm gonna get this." I put my money out there, go, "You know what? It's on the house. It's a gift." I'm like, "What?" So of course I'm like, "Yo, I gotta give you some comp tickets or something. I don't have family or relatives here, so at least let me give you tickets to the concert." It was crazy. It was just so much that came along with that. Janet was so smart by asking for every member to have certain characteristics and standards that I do have to say I was very proud of the class that we carried ourselves with class. Every band member, you know, we were very classy. No one was loud and crazy, and we had a certain level of class wherever we moved, you know, whether it was the whole group or whether it was 4 or 5 of us at a time. And I think Janet appreciated that. I know Janet appreciated it because she mentioned it several times as we went through the tour. It was constantly, "I'm so proud of you guys." You know, we left the hotel. The hotel sent us a letter saying, "Your band members were so nice and they took care of the rooms. Nobody trashed their rooms like a lot of music groups would. They were always so kind. They were so this." So we had a reputation of not only killing it on stage, but we had a reputation of being classy and representing Janet well. And we took pride in that as well. Or some cities we would go to, we would have to do at least 3-4 nights in order to accommodate the ticket sales. So we would sell out places 3-4 nights in a row. Then we would have a couple of days off. We'd go to the next city and we'd do 3 or 4 nights. So well, it was ridiculously successful.
Oh no! Huh?